Hi, so you're kind of far along and you're thinking about what kind of baby thing do you want to get for yourself, or what kind of baby thing do you want to ask from the people around you. And you're thinking about creating your baby registry. That was an exciting moment for us, and I looked at basically all the types of websites that you can use to create your own baby registry. Some of them will ask you to pay for it, some of them won't. And the best that I found was Amazon, and I have a link down below, and that's what I used to create our own baby registry. So let's get started on what items I feel like were actually really good. So let's get started. I just want to start with a few things about the Amazon baby registry and why I like it. The registry itself is really easy to set up. You basically go and create your registry, and then you can start adding items. It's like adding an item on a list. I don't know if you've already done that, but basically when you're on the page of the item that you want, on the right hand side you'll see add to baby registry, so you can just click on that and it'll automatically add to your baby registry. The only thing to be mindful of, usually it'll add to the baby registry in the right category or department. You can change that. So if the item doesn't go in the right category, it was miscategorized when it was entered on Amazon, you can just go in, click on the item, and then change the category. And then you can say if you want more than one item, if you want to make this item private, etc. If you want an item that is not on Amazon, there's an extension that you need to set up. You'll be able to use that extension to add items from another website. So one, it's really easy to set up. Two, there's a completion discount. So 60 days prior to your due date, which you enter when you're setting up your registry, you will get a 10% discount on certain items. I believe it's the items that are fulfilled by Amazon. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's all in the description when you're clicking on what the discount is. So that's kind of cool if people want to wait 2 months before your due date to buy your items. If there is going to be an eligible discount, then they can do that and get a 10% discount. And then the last thing that I really liked was that the registry is free. Cool, so let's get into the items that I really liked using for my baby. She's now 7 months old, and I keep checking on her monitor to see if she's still sleeping. The first one is the baby bathtub. It comes in 4 steps. So you have the infant one with the mesh, so you just lay them down there and then you can bathe them really easily. The water is in just a little bath section, and you can just use a cloth and bathe them. And then you can remove the mesh and put them basically sitting in front of the seat. So they'll still be laying back and comfortable, but it's just a little bit more space and less laid down. And then you can sit them on a seat once they're able to sit by themselves, and then you can remove that seat and just have a mini bath. A mini bath for them to play in. So that's really useful if you don't want to fill up your entire bath, or if your sink isn't big enough for your baby. And then there's a Graco Forever 4-in-1 car seat. So some car seats will fit with certain cars, but not with others. So look into that. But the Graco 4-in-1 Forever car seat was a good fit for a car, and it will last until our baby is 120 pounds. So it has 4 different steps from infant, like newborn, to up until she's however old, like a little booster seat basically. The only thing with that one is I don't believe it's pretty bulky, and I don't think it connects to a stroller, so it would be something that you leave in your car. But it's been great. Our baby has been loving it, and it's safe, so that's all that matters. We got these baby organic bamboo towels. It sounds fancy. It's not. It's just really soft. We got towels from the store, and the towels were a little bit smaller, and the fabric wasn't that great. It doesn't really absorb water as much as the bamboo towels, and it's just overall really cute. There's a little hat that you can put on the baby to start drying their hair if they have hair, and it looks like they're a mini polar bear, which is really cute. I also like that the hat is a corner. Sometimes the hat is on the side. When you're wrapping baby, you can wrap the bottom in between the legs, the hat, and then just like wrap the sides like a burrito. Some of the towels, you'll see the hat will be on the sides, so it's a rectangle shape, and that means you can't bring the towel in between the legs. It's harder. It's just like wrapping it around them without covering the private parts. What I like about covering the private parts is if they decide to pee or poop on you, at least you'll have some sort of barrier between yourself and the output. We got a playpen because we have a 3-story house, so we wanted a place on the first floor to be able to change her diapers. So the playpen that we got it's called Disney Sweet Wonder playpen. We got it because there's a bassinet level, so you can put her down in there for a nap, or even she slept in that for like 2 months in between her bassinet and her crib. And we were able to change her diaper until she started rolling around and just being overall too big for that little changing table. So that was super helpful. Obviously, if you live on one floor and everything is on that floor, it doesn't really make sense to get that. But if you have a little bit of a bigger house or a bigger space, just having that handy so you don't have to go up and down the stairs all the time when there's a diaper change, especially in the beginning. There's just a lot of diaper changes and a lot of poops, and it's nice to have everything handy in one place, close to where you basically spend your day. Speaking of diaper, a diaper pail is a good option, especially when they start solid. In the beginning, warning for discussing poop and stuff, but it's a baby video, so if you're not ready for that, that's too bad. The poop doesn't smell as bad as when they start eating solid. That's really too bad. When they start eating solid, it starts getting sticky and stinky, and it's just very interesting. So when you transition to given solid to your baby, I would highly recommend a diaper pail. Obviously, you probably don't need one in the first bit of their life unless you want to change their diaper in one specific room and there's no garbage can in that room. We changed the baby close to the kitchen, not in the kitchen obviously, but there's always been a garbage can nearby, so we would in the beginning put the diapers in the garbage can. And I'm talking about not reusable diapers, so disposable diapers. And then it started to get a little bit more smelly, so now we're using our diaper pail absolutely every single time there is a poop, at least, because it's just more stinky. And every time you put something into your kitchen or bathroom garbage, you probably don't want to smell the old poop from yesterday. So highly recommend one of those. It's really good. We have unfortunately tested it to its full capacity. The city garbage, whatever local garbage truck comes by every 2 weeks, and we have forgotten at least once or twice to put out the diapers outside. So that means the diapers would just stay in for, I would say the longest was like a month and a half. So we've tested it. It stayed in our living room and it didn't smell at all, as long as you don't open it. Obviously, if you do, it's Pandora's box. You just don't want to do that ever. So at the end of the month, when it was time for garbage, again, we just opened it in the garage or outside to make sure that it wouldn't stink the whole house. So all this to say that we've tested it. It works really well. Keeps the stink in, and it's great. And then if you are using reusable diapers, what I got, because we want to start using reusable diaper once the one size fit all works on her. Right now it just looks kind of uncomfortable and bulky, but once it works, I have these diaper pail liners that you can put in the diaper pail And instead of being a garbage bag, you can just grab this and then put everything in the washing machine. So that's really helpful. This is one of the only diaper pail, I think, that allows you to do that if you're doing reusable diapers. So I highly recommend it. Okay, let's talk about the diaper backpack that we got. Mine is full because it's always ready for if we're going somewhere really quickly. But this is the one that we got. I think there's multiple colors and styles, but this one is great. It basically opens and you can put the baby when they're not moving much in there to change them on the go. So whether you're in the car or outside, you can just open that up. It creates a little changing table. There's a little mat that's really cute. You put that mat and then you put the baby on it and then you can change the baby. And that's super helpful. There is something to plug your phone and then a bunch of pockets. So if you're, whether you're breastfeeding or you're bottle feeding, there's a bunch of places for bottles or formula powder. And then once you start solids, you can put all of the pieces of foods that you want to bring on the go. Okay, let's talk about some toys. This is by far the best toy/book that we've gotten in our baby registry. I'm 100% sure that it's helped our child do tummy time for longer periods of time because it's black and white. So when they are born, I think they're just more attracted to really high contrast images. So black and white is what you want to go with. And there's going to be a scrunch. It's a board that you can essentially set up on the floor in front of baby. So you've got white on black, and then you have black on white. And you just put that in front of the baby when they're doing tummy time. Even like the first week, that's what we did. And it brought her attention higher up than the floor. So instead of just staying there and staring and potentially getting bored with doing tummy time because there's just nothing to look at except your hands and the floor. In the beginning, they only see from your breast to your face. So don't put it too far. But if you put it like this, they'll be able to essentially start looking up and looking at all the images. And she was obsessed with the little detailed ones. So she was obsessed with the little butterfly and the button, which was really cute. She was always staring at those. And then she became obsessed with the writing. So I would show her this and this. And she just loved it. So I believe it really helped her love tummy time. She was doing really, really well. And she started crawling at 5.5 months. Really highly recommend this black and white little book. So baby monitor. I think it took us a while to get this thing, but at some point we were like, it would be nice to see her when she's napping. Also, your baby might not be napping in a room outside of where you are for a little bit. Ours would nap and sleep only on us for the first month or at least 3 weeks. So you don't need a monitor, obviously, if she's sleeping on you. But once she's sleeping in a room that is not where you are, maybe you want to hear or see what they're doing. So we got the, what's it called? Infant Optics DXR8 Pro baby monitor. I think it's more on the pricey side. Our reasoning behind it is we want to see, hear the baby, and then we want to know what temperature it is in the room where they're sleeping. And then the reasoning behind why do we buy something more expensive is more of an investment in our own mental health. We want to make sure that we're not thinking about, oh, is the baby too cold? Is the baby too warm? So I really like the aspect of it that you can see what temperature it is in the room. I don't know how it works, but it's cool. There's all kinds of options as well. You can have multiple cameras if you have multiple rooms or if you want multiple angles. For me, that's a little much, but I think it's just a cool investment that is worth it. Let's go back to some toys. So we got some cloth books. They also crunch. That must be super annoying in your ears. And we got this little elephant that is also a cloth book. These two things have been amazing since she was a baby. One, you can just start showing them words and telling them what they are. And then it crunches and it's fabric so they can eat it, which she's been doing. When they're teething, it's going to be lovely. And then this little thing, please don't cut it out. It's like almost the best part of it. When they start knowing what to do with their hands or exploring with their hands, they'll go like this, and like it's kind of a fun thing to play with and then put into their mouth. So that's been really cool. If there's any spit up or your dog starts licking it and you want to clean it, you just pass it under the water, put some dish soap on it, and rinse it, and then it's good to go for another 5 months. So great stuff. And then this one is a little bit more on the pricey side, but I like the different textures. So when they start, again, exploring with their hands, they're going to like the texture, they're going to like the crunchiness of the ears and the book itself. There's little toys and a little teether as well. But the most fun is just showing animals and starting to make animal sounds, which we started maybe 2 or 3 months ago, so around 4 months. And it makes them laugh and smile, and it's just the most fun. Obviously, you can probably do that with something else if you're not willing to invest in this, but honestly, it's really cute, and it's probably going to last a while. We babysat girls who were 6 and 8, and they were playing with it, so it's probably going to last several years. Baby carrier, we were giving this by my sister, who had used this with her baby who's now 9 years old, and it's just been absolutely amazing. So it's survived her baby, and then she gave it to our cousin who had twins, so it survived twins, and it's already survived 7 months of us. It's great. You can buy an infant insert, which I didn't really feel comfortable with, but the new Ergo Baby, the 360, I think that's called, and that's the one I'm going to link because I think it's just a better version, less old, and has more functions. You don't need a baby insert, so you can just start using it from the time that your baby is a newborn. This one, you need a newborn insert until they're about 12 pounds, I believe, and then you can just put them in. This thing is what keeps me doing chores during the day. I just put the baby in the carrier and walk around and do the dishes or vacuum, so that when she's sleeping I can do things for myself and not just run around cleaning the house. So that's been great. I think it's a cool bonding experience as well. They're just close and they feel comfortable and safe. And then it's nice to go for a walk. I try to go for walks with her in this sometimes instead of the stroller, because one, it'll keep me strong to be able to carry her as she grows. My body will kind of adapt as her body grows. And then two, it's just kind of nice. I have my hands free, especially if you have a dog, you need to walk the dog, your hands are free, and this is awesome. Okay, I'm almost done, I think. I'm going to link below the stroller that we used. It comes with a seat that can be adjusted to newborn, so it reclines enough for a newborn. You can also put your car seat in it. Obviously, the car seat that I mentioned does not fit in the stroller because we already had a stroller with a baby seat. But it's great, and it grows with the baby as well. It's nice. We tried it in the snow, so if you live in a snowy environment, it works great. And it's just like a basic stroller that'll be nice for you when baby doesn't want to sleep and you just want to go out for a walk and try to make them sleep in the stroller. In the beginning, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do bassinet and then crib, or if I just wanted to do crib. Our room fits both, so it wasn't about that. We ended up going with bassinet and then moving on to a crib later on, because it's just nice. It's a nice thing to have. It's just easier to grab baby from a bassinet that is pretty much at your height. It's nice and snug for the baby as well. They're not in a huge environment, especially when they're super tiny. I feel like a crib, there's maybe this much space between the crib bars, and I feel like obviously their head would not go through, but their hands is easily, I don't know. To me, it's just too small of a baby for too big of a bed. And I felt like our child would be more comfortable in a smaller environment. And I'm glad that we went for that because I had an emergency C-section. So having had to go over the crib bars to pick up baby and then pick up baby from like a lower level than the bassinet would have been a little bit more complicated in the beginning when I was recovering from the C-section. So I'm going to link below the bassinet that I got. It's called Halo Bassinet. There's multiple types of the Halo Bassinet, from one pocket on the side to two pockets, and like vibration, which looking back could have been really useful in the very newborn stage when they're not necessarily sleeping well outside of your arms. But we managed. We just got basically the cheapest but a good quality bassinet, and it bends on the side that is going to be beside your bed. So it's easy to grab baby from there if you've had a C-section or if you're recovering from the vaginal birth. And then it also moves around. So if you have to pee at night, which you probably will, it's easy to put the bassinet like closer to one side or to another, depending on where you're heading, the path that you're taking to go to the bathroom. So that's really useful. What else did we do with that bassinet? I feel like there was, and then the bassinet also like moves, it rotates. So in the beginning when we were trying to have her sleep in her bassinet for naps and for the night, we would rotate the bassinet and try to shake the bassinet to kind of give her a vibrating movement type of environment so that she would fall asleep. And it actually worked pretty well. It's nice to be able to train the baby early on to fall asleep in their sleeping environment rather than having to rock them to sleep or nurse them to sleep, which later on you're going to have to break the habit anyways. So just put them in the bassinet, shake them a little bit, and I can talk about this in another video as well. But that bassinet has been really great for doing just that. We were given the Love Every play gym, and we still use it. Now we use it as a tent, so it transforms into a little tent. But in the beginning, just putting the baby on the mat with things hanging in their face. She was obsessed with the black and white ball in the beginning. She would just stare at it. And because it transforms into a tent, she's going to be using this, I'm pretty sure, in her toddler years. I'm going to put it in her room at some point, and it'll just be like a little reading nook or a little play nook that she can use. Okay, 2 last items if you're breastfeeding. In those items I hadn't thought of before I started breastfeeding, because it's just not something that you think about unless you know someone who is breastfeeding and they're going to be like, you absolutely need this to survive, is one, lanolin. You're going to need lanolin. And I'm telling you, your nipples will survive and they'll become basically numb, like senseless. Lanolin is great in the beginning because your nipples might crack and they're just not used to always being moist and being pulled on. So putting some lanolin after each feed and even before a feed if you want. It's not bad for the baby and it's good for your nipples. So it's really a win-win. And then the last thing for breastfeeding moms is nipple pads. I did not think I would need this. I had those reusable pads to remove makeup, right? It's like a bamboo type fabric. It's round. You just remove makeup with it. And I had those in the beginning, but the milk goes through them, so it's really not good. I tried cloths. Again, the milk just goes through the cloth. It's better to get those pads where the one side is soft on your skin and then the other side has a waterproof fabric. So I'm going to link those below. They've been a game changer. Those are the night ones, but I had a pretty strong flow, whatever that's called. So I would use those all throughout the day. And they would last me in the beginning maybe every 3 hours, and now I use them for a whole day, and then I change them in the morning. And that's it for the items that I have really loved on my baby registry. So hopefully that helps you make a decision on what to put on your registry. And good luck. It's really fun. It's a fun part to be deciding what your baby's gonna have, like the first little items, the first little toys. It's kind of an exciting moment. And then once they start using them, it's just the cutest thing. So have fun with it and take care. Bye.